We were talking about the plan that Governor Newsom has in our neighboring state there, which is going to crack down on homelessness. Says you can't stay in the same place for more than 3 nights in a row. You can't build a semi-permanent structure like a makeshift shack on public property. And you can't block streets or sidewalks. Now, my experience when I lived in California was in San Diego. And I think I've told you this before. You pull into town and it's just, there's an area right off the freeway. It's just lined with tents. And it is not a welcoming sight. It's not like I'm in San Diego, America's finest city. And you go, but look at all these homeless tents and people with club feet wandering around. And it's just weird. And then what I found when I was there, and again, it's been a long time since I lived in San Diego. It's been 10 years. But they found like this homeless encampment under a bridge that was in, kind of like near a swampy area or whatever. Mm-hmm. People had been living in there for years, had created like a settlement in public land. I mean, guy had like a house with doors that he built. It was the most bizarre thing. And then, the sheriff's department found it. They came through and they bulldozed the whole thing, which people then got very upset about. Mm-hmm. So if Newsom's plan goes through, which was modeled in large part over San Diego, how they dealt with things, if you're homeless and you're not allowed to stay in the same place for more than 3 days at a time, what are you doing? You just pack up your shopping cart and move down the road 200 feet and then plant for another day and then go back and forth and back and forth? Or do you go find a place that isn't going to harass you every day?
Well,
do you make your way east?
I kind of think you do a lot of the back and forth. Like, if you're homeless, how easy is it to get from L.A. to Phoenix?
I think a lot easier than getting from Des Moines to L.A., which is what people are doing in the first place. They go, well, if I got to be homeless, I'm going to be homeless in California.
But isn't it even easier to move from one end of the block to the other?
Maybe, but if all of a sudden...
If they kick you out...
All of a sudden you got a problem where California is now saying you have to go to a shelter bed, right? You have to go do this. You have to go do that. You have to follow up. You have to get into substance abuse program.
But we're doing that here too. We're saying you have to be in a shelter.
I agree. It looks like California's trying to get tougher.
Uh-huh.
And if California ends up being tougher than Arizona is...
So are we just trading homeless?
Yes. Exactly what is going to happen. The difference is, and this is where I think it gets really dangerous. We got another nasty reminder this week of our biggest natural threat, which is the heat. If you recall, over the weekend, there was a 33-year-old hiker. He was outdoors for 6 hours near Gold Canyon on Sunday.
I saw that.
Died.
Yeah.
Right? After 6 hours. You're talking about a healthy, outdoorsy person succumbing to the heat. So if all of a sudden we have heat-related deaths on the rise among the indigent, it's going to go even higher if we have more of a migration of homeless people from California. I was looking at the heat deaths last year. Now, if you recall, the narrative last year, throughout the year it's the hottest summer we've ever had. 2024 was hotter than 2023.
Yeah, and we were coming off, I think, the worst heat death year ever in 2023.
We were. And 2023 was the hottest year we ever had. Mm-hmm. And then 2024 passed it.
Yeah.
And the story was, yeah, but we're doing way better.
Yeah, I thought we did way better.
We did better. Way better is a bit of a stretch. We had like 7% fewer heat deaths. In 2023, 645. 2024, and this is the preliminary
data
report. Yeah. We had 602 with 8 still under investigation. So as many as 610. Mm-hmm. All right. That would, if you throw out 2023, that would make that far and away the deadliest summer ever for heat. All right. I was also interested in finding out how many people were inside versus outside. Outside, obviously, lots more. 77% were outdoor. That's your homeless.
I was going to say, that's not somebody who fell over and broke a hip. That's somebody who baked to death. Exactly
what it is. Or you're going to have some hikers, like that stat would have been an outdoor heat-related death, right? The stat in Gold Canyon.
Okay.
However, I was also interested in this. As we talk about heat-related deaths, now I'm concerned about an influx of migration of people from California. Even if they get inside, nearly a quarter of all the heat-related deaths last year were people who were inside. And of that, almost 9 out of 10 had an air conditioner.
Was it working?
Well, no.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because 70% of those that did have an air conditioner, they weren't working. However, let me make this point, and that is, I'm going to try to do some quick math in my head.
Okay.
Still had like 40 that had a working air conditioner, still died of heat-related issues inside.
Meaning they didn't turn it down cool enough? They didn't turn it on?
Yeah, or APS shut it off.
I mean,
although that would be non-functioning.
Oh, yeah,
right?
they were old and
I like it warm in here.
Didn't know how to work it, or they didn't realize it wasn't working properly.
It could be. It freaks me out though when I think of California cracking down on homelessness. Where are they going to go? Because if they come here, we're going to see that number of 602 last year go back up to that 645 that we saw 2 years ago, and maybe even higher. Mm-hmm. It's not going to get better. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You want to move on now, or you got more to say?
No.
All right. I like that.
It's very sad.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.